We're going to discuss the relative merits of any attempt to lock him up. But first, remember the reaction to these chants of lock her up.
Seems a little banana Republican to me. It's something that you're not used to hearing in this country. We don't lock up our political opponents.
It could have created violence, that it's kind of hate speech.
We're painting a picture of our country that I did not recognize.
Well, joining us now to sort it all out, Democratic strategist Richard Goodstein and Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. Welcome to you both.
Good to see you.
Hey, Shannon.
Okay, so there's a lot of talk about what the position the speaker is in now. The Washington Post, under the headline, Pelosi tells colleagues she wants to see Trump, quote, in prison, not impeached. They say this: Pelosi's resistance has infuriated the party's left flank, which has used more pointed language to criticize her leadership in recent days. Katie, it sounds like there's really a little bit of push and pull going on with her in the House Judiciary Chair, of course, where this would start. Jerry Nadler.
Well, this has been the big question from the beginning about whether Speaker Pelosi could keep her caucus together. Now, if she's talking about taking the president away in handcuffs, wishing that he was in prison after he leaves the White House, then Democrats are still banking on this Russian narrative that completely fell apart when Mueller released his report. There wasn't a single crime that was named in his report that can be prosecuted. And I just want to point out that Trump supporters weren't chanting lock her up because Hillary Clinton was simply a political opponent. They were chanting that because she shared top secret classified information on an unsecure, private, illegal server that put lives in jeopardy. And the FBI gave her special treatment. We're not going to rehash all of that tonight. But there was a legitimate reason for them saying those things. It wasn't just simply because she was a political opponent.
Okay, so to that point, in this case, here's what Rush Limbaugh is having to say about the speaker and her plans.
We've got the Speaker of the House of Representatives openly saying she wants to put Donald Trump in jail. And for what? What's the crime? What has Trump done that would warrant being sent to jail?
Richard?
Ask the 1,000 career prosecutors who signed that letter that said if it was on their watch that what Donald Trump was reported to have done in the Mueller report would have resulted in his being indicted. Whether he would have been convicted or not is another question. But look, there are people who are living in a dream world that Donald Trump has done nothing wrong demonstrably. If you read the Mueller report, and I encourage everybody still to do that.
It's out there.
Please do it, and you'll see the list of things, the elements of each crime of obstruction that he's met. Now, whether or not that could have been proven or not, that's what Mueller basically said to Congress. This is on you. Now, Barr took it upon himself.
He's a prosecutor, though. If you can't put together a case that you feel like you could win against someone, his job is to say, okay, yes, it is as a prosecutor.
He disagreed, Shannon. He said under the circumstances, it wouldn't have been fair. It would have been fundamentally unfair to a president to basically say, I think that he should be charged, but I know because of the Department of Justice, he won't be. So that's hanging over him. And I think Mueller, frankly, Trump should thank his lucky stars that he got Mueller as his prosecutor.
It's also very unfair and dishonest to say that the president committed a number of crimes when the lead prosecutor, the special counsel, whose job it was to go look for crimes for 2 years, and they did with 500 subpoenas, thousands of millions of documents from the White House, and they came back and couldn't name a single prosecutable crime in the 400-page Mueller report. So, again, if Democrats are going to continue with this narrative that is the only thing that they've had for 2 years that completely fell apart after nothing was delivered to the Mueller report, it proves that they're more focused on a narrative that's anti-Trump than actually talking about things that are going to move the country forward based on an agenda that Democrats promised in 2018.
Can I just say one thing in Pelosi's defense? The reason she doesn't want to go to impeachment now is it's not just the Mueller report. It's getting the tax returns. It's these 12 other prosecutions that we know are going on out there. It's the Trump Foundation. We know it's his being an unindicted co-conspirator.
It's not about any other debating policy.
I'm just saying, we know there are a series of things out there, most of which, including Mueller, we don't even have the unredacted report yet.
Okay, but again, to that point, I checked in with the Justice Department again today to see if any Democrats who've been offered the less redacted version have gone over to see it. They said, as of today, 0. So maybe we start there.
Perhaps.